Lab 3, Extraction. This video will teach you how to perform an acid-base extraction, a common technique for separating compounds based on their solubility differences. Our experimenters, David and Bibia, will separate 4-chlorobenzoic acid, which is a carboxylic acid, from 4-bromoaniline, which is a mild base. Transfer the mixture to the separatory funnel, then rinse the flask with ether. Add 25 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. Shake, then release pressure. Shake, and release the funnel 3 times. Let it settle. You will see the formation of 2 layers. The top layer is organic and the bottom one is aqueous, since water is denser than ether. The acid-base principle behind this is as follows. 4-chlorobenzoic acid, being water-insoluble, reacts with the aqueous base, sodium hydroxide, and is converted into a water-soluble salt. Thus, it is being transferred from organic phase to an aqueous layer, while 4-bromoaniline, being a base, does not react with sodium hydroxide and remains in the organic layer. Drain the bottom layer to a small flask labeled AQ and swirl the flask to make sure that all of the water has been drained. Add a fresh portion of sodium hydroxide. Shake again. Drain the bottom layer to the same flask labeled AQ. You must repeat this process to ensure that all of the 4-chlorobenzoic acid has reacted with sodium hydroxide. Now our compounds are separated. Benzoic acid was completely transferred to the aqueous phase in the form of sodium benzoate. Add water to the separatory funnel, shake, then release pressure. It will wash away the remaining sodium hydroxide. Drain the bottom layer to the flask labeled waste. Add brine, which is a sodium chloride solution, shake, then release pressure. Drain this to the waste flask. Swirl the separatory funnel to make sure that no water traces are left, as small droplets of water may become apparent when the mixture is swirled. Doing this will remove traces of water from the organic layer. Drain the last water drops, if present. Pour the ether layer through the neck into the flask labeled ORG. Put enough drying agent to cover the bottom. Leave it for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, acidify the aqueous solution with hydrochloric acid until the solution is acidic. Check the pH of the solution with test strips. Precipitate should be formed at this point. Expect to add a large volume of hydrochloric acid to accomplish this. After all the acid is precipitated, perform vacuum filtration and wash the crystals with plenty of chilled water to remove the remaining hydrochloric acid. You may check the pH of the solution coming out of the funnel. While the vacuum is still on, pull the hose off the filtration flask, take the funnel, and touch the stem of the funnel with the pH paper to verify that the solution is neutral. When finished, leave it for 15 minutes with the vacuum on for drying. Now let's work on the ether solution of 4-bromoaniline in the flask labeled ORG. Remove the drying agent from the flask through gravity filtration. Rinse the ORG flask with ether 2 times. Collect the filtrate into a pre-weighed flask, a round bottom, or an Erlenmeyer flask. Evaporate the ether as directed by your instructor.